So this is the non-vintage Charmat method sparkling rosé. So it's a lot like Prosecco. It's made very much the same way, except this is much drier than most Proseccos. Most Prosecco's a little sweeter than this. The base is Riesling wine, and then it's got a tiny little bit of Malbec in there. That's what's giving it pink.
Interesting.
We have half an acre of Malbec right out the back door there. And this was only the first year we've had any fruit on it. So we made one red wine from it so far, which is very fruity and light. And then we made this guy. All right. Just how it was up there. All right. So bubbles.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's interesting, a lot of the rosé classes, I keep telling people that most of the time the rosés are not white and red mixed together, and you're blowing my display.
I'm blowing the thing, but it is back to the whole Italian way of doing things. Prosecco, if you have a rosé Prosecco, it's exactly that. It's a blend. It's a white wine, usually blended with Pinot Noir from it when you do the Italian version. So, chin chin.
Salud. Nice to be back. I'm glad we managed to sneak away for a day or two.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice and dry.
It is crisp,
Yeah.
light, easy drinker. You know, sitting in the pool,
Patio.
sitting on the patio.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
What do we have deep fried that's coming up we can do with this?
Oh yeah.
This is a
Trying to remember what's on the menu for next month. Let's deep fry.
no, but it's even for this week. What's in our, what do we have going in the fryer right now besides fries? The Parmesan truffle fries, of course,
Well,
will be
there's
ideal.
the spring rolls right now. That's pretty much it.
Oh,
Anything
they're
crispy with anything with if it's spring rolls got some ginger in it.
Yeah.
Because of the Riesling
We have a
base
ginger
in it.
flavor sauce for it.
Ginger and Riesling love each other.
Yeah, there's three different
it's one of
dipping
those-
sauces, but it has pork belly in it. So
Oh,
it's gonna be
okay.
very it's very
Otherwise,
juicy.
the croquettes for the pincho
That's for
beignet.
Friday,
Yeah.
if there's any left.
If there's any left, yeah.
If it makes it till Friday. But yes, the croquettes would be phenomenal with this. Yes. Good call. Well, that's a way to start my day here.
There you go. And then this, we'll just tick through a bunch of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the Viognier. We don't grow any Viognier ourselves. We bought this from the neighbor up the road. We don't get it necessarily every year. So this year I have it. This is the 22 vintage? Yeah, 22 we had it, 21 we had some, none in 23. And I don't think we're getting any this year either. The vineyards change hands sometimes, and sometimes other buyers are willing to spend more money, and then we don't get it. So we're trying to see if we can find.
It's hard
some
to get
more.
people to share.
It's hard to get people to share.
If I remember correctly, you used to have it in the orange label. Viognier back in the
Yes, yeah.
That was the one I think we had at the bar when we first opened.
Well, that Viognier vineyard that we got, that was literally just across the road, the QEW from us. But that's been sold, and they've started a whole new winery there. So this is 22 Viognier, stainless steel.
So I can definitely smell the steel in that.
Yeah, no oak at all on this guy. And it's kind of fun. I love Viognier. It's one of my favorite grape varieties. There's not a bunch of it going in Niagara yet. More and more is going to the ground.
I'm finding it's not going into blends though,
Yes.
right?
You'll even see it sometimes blended in with Syrah. It's a traditional Rhone way of doing things. Very floral.
Yeah.
It's very light.
I agree.
It's very delicate.
It's a very delicate one. Yeah.
What fruit am I getting on there?
This to me is looking for mild cheeses.
Yep.
Brie, Camembert, that sort of thing.
Oh, whipped brie.
Chef can work well.
We're doing we have a whipped brie on the menu that's got honey, fresh herbs,
Yep.
right? Florals, yeah.
Yeah, the
That's-
dairy floral, and I think that works well against this sort of thing.
Lovely. Yeah, it was not what I was expecting. The last I think the last VDA that you had, I thought it was richer. This was
Yeah.
much
A little
this is-
fatter in style. And a lot of
Yeah.
that's vineyard, right? That makes
Yep.
a big difference.
Yep.
And speaking of fatter and richer and all the rest of it, this is the 22 Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm.
Barrel fermented, barrel aged, 100% French oak, 100% through malolactic, all the Chardonnay things.
All the things.
All the things we do to it. So,
How long in oak?
just over 10 months.
Okay.
And a fairly significant 1/3 new wood. So it's
Oh, it's gonna punch
it's
to
there.
it. It's not overpowering.
And this for me is always the same thing. It's sort of the white wine for red wine drinkers, right? It's
Yeah.
got more.
No, see, I like it.
It's not
This is mine.
overly
It's
oaky,
nice and soft and finished. Like it's
not quite norm level.
No, we always compare all of our Chardonnays to whether my husband will be ordering it by the bottle, because he's like he loves big oak.
Big oak wine.
Yeah,
Well, this
big
is why I
oak,
say
funky ones.
this
And this
was-
is surprising. This is a little more nuanced. It's closer to that Burgundian style.
Yeah,
I
to
find,
me,
where it's a little
and
softer.
within Burgundy too, I think this is more Chablisian than it is Macron.
Mm.
Which makes a big difference, right?
Oh, really good.
The oak's there. It needs like just a simple roast chicken, just something straightforward like that. I think.
Well, damn it! I don't have. All I got is spicy chicken, and this is gonna be too much for it.
Mm.
It's
Well, the next one's a
chicken.
good one for spicy chicken.
Yeah, the chicken's gonna over.
If it's a spicy chicken, yeah.
That's what I would
you
say
heat it
for the
up.
cheese boards, because I can
Put
really
it up
play
against,
around it.
yeah, up against a cheese board working well, working really well with charcuterie.
Yeah.
Just cured meats, I think would be.
Yeah,
good
I think
choices.
that'll be that's the good one to recommend for this one. If you're all listening.
And now something really cool. Well, not that the others weren't cool, but so Foreign Affair, we built our reputation early on with big red wines and with the Passamento, so
Yes.
drying the grapes the way they do in Amarone, right?
Mhm.
And in the early days, Len and Marissa had us do absolutely everything had to be affected by some level of Passamento, including the white wines. And the white wines, frankly, had kind of a weird texture to them because of that. It's there's a reason the Italians don't do it. So we gave up on that. We don't do it with any of the white wines, with one exception, and that's this Riesling. And the reason is Riesling, the grape itself, can take the abuse. You can put it in the drying chamber, and it can raise it. It's got thick enough skins. It works really well. We added it to this one in particular. This is Seuss Reserve Riesling, which is this ancient German technique. So if you've ever had Blue Nun, that's made.
Sadly, yes.
Yes, exactly. Me too. Right? Me too.
I think everyone is
That's made in a very simple way. You ferment your grapes completely dry, then you add some table sugar, literally, and then you filter it and bottle it. If you want to get natural sugars in there, you want better flavor and intensity, you do Seuss Reserve. So at harvest, some of your fruit you crush and you ferment completely dry. The rest of it, in our case, we dry it in the drying chamber. You passamento that Riesling grapes, crush them, save that juice, blend the juice in, then filter and bottle. So the sweetness that's in this wine is 100% natural fructose from the grapes themselves. So it's got much more density of flavor. It also means you end up with much lower alcohol. This is only 9.5% alcohol.
Wow. So you can have more.
Exactly.
And
the
bad influence.
The last fun thing is it takes a long time to get these certifications, but we finally have the Sustainable Vineyard certification for our Crispina vineyard, the original vineyard. And that's where this comes from. So this is the first wine. I don't have the stickers yet, but they're coming. This is the first wine that is under sustainable moniker for us. All right. Riesling 2023 vintage.
I think this is one of the new ones that took us back.
Well, when they said that, it was.
We were passing the glass around everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have to taste this.
Yeah.
Because it was something completely different, right?
It's got some great floral character to it, and then a little bit of that lemon lime note.
And I'm already a fan of Riesling, so.
I know, it's such an Riesling in general, not just ours, but Riesling in general is such an undervalued grape, I think.
Yes.
So food friendly, such a broad, it's like a shotgun. It can hit a lot of stuff and still work really well with them.
The last time I was in France, there was winemakers in Burgundy who were jealous that I was going to Alsace.
Oh yeah.
Because they absolutely adore, like Riesling and Gewurz are probably some of their two favorite, especially food pairing grapes.
Yep.
And they were jealous
Yeah.
that we were getting to go there. And I was thinking like, but everyone usually wants to come to Burgundy, so I was
Yeah.
maybe even more excited about Alsace. But yes, the Rieslings are.
This has got a nice apple, but it's not like green
No,
apple.
no,
or
it's-
anything,
it's more
right?
like, to me, it's more like a yellow apple.
Yeah.
It's not like a Fuji or something or a Granny Smith, but
Yeah.
it's got this yellow. There's a sweetness to it for sure. It's only a hair sweet. Technically speaking, this is only on the old LCBO scale. This would only be a 2, just over a 2.
So this would be good with those
Mm-hmm.
Peruvian, the chicken skewers,
Yep.
right?
On its own too, or with the dip especially, because the
I
dip's
think
got a
it-
bit of a heat
It depends which one. I would do. You could probably get away even with the peanut butter one.
to it. No, that's the
Is it
spring
the-
rolls, but I meant the
Oh, the spring rolls. Oh, that's
like
like yeah. The dipping sauce is really spicy. The ahi verde.
yeah.
It might be overpowering a little bit. I can offer something different with
I
it.
have this with satay.
Yeah.
And that peanut sauce, very Thai kind of
Yeah,
cuisine.
so with the,
Yeah.
the spring rolls, it'd probably go well.
The
then.
spring rolls would go well with it, but yes, I was mixing the sauces up. It's the ahi verde, and that's it. It's super
That's
spicy.
spicy, like
But
that.
the chicken
yeah.
skewers on their own would be spectacular with this, because they're seasoned enough, right?
Mm. So we're gonna do a little head to head.
Okay.
This is really fun to do.
2 versions.
Basically, yeah.
One of our favorite grapes, especially for the summer.
Exactly. And that's
How many people have we turned on again? Lots.
all right.
Even our non-wine drinkers, we can usually get them, if they're going to drink wine and they have to choose a wine, because they're not big wine drinkers, Gamay is usually the
Right.
gateway drug.
Well, exactly. It's kind of like I was saying before. Chardonnay is the gateway for red wine drinkers
Yep.
who want to drink a white wine
Yep.
because of all the oak. It's very similar
Yep.
kind of notes to it. And same thing. Gamay is a great place to start for red wine drinkers who don't, or for white wine drinkers who don't drink a lot of red. Right?
Yep.
All right. So this one is fun because these are both 22 vintage Gamay.
Mhm.
This is the Gamay Rosé. Pour that first.
Such a pretty color.
It is, isn't it? Beautiful.
This is closer to this, that's true pink as opposed to the salmon, right?
That's
So you
right.
get
I would
a-
say I would believe. Although you know what, I'm actually not the right one to ask. I'm red green colorblind.
Are you?
So I
Okay,
get the
you just
color.
trust me that trust me, it's pink.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to that, well, most of them is that you see on their shelves are always that salmon orangey color, right?
Yeah.
This is.
Those,
Now we can do something.
Now, the reason I wanted to pour this as a side by side is these two wines are in fact the exact same wine.
Okay.
So at harvest, we picked our Gamay, we crushed it, we left it in tank overnight,
Yeah.
24 hours, and then they bled off about 1,000
Ah.
liters of this beautiful
Sangui.
pink business,
Mhm.
Saguenay.
Yep.
Fermented that, treated it like a white wine. The rest we fermented as a red wine, so it's literally 2 for 1. And
Nice.
so of course what it ends up doing is it shifts the ratio of skin to juice for the red wine. So the red wine, as Gamays go, this has got a little bit more meat on its bones than it would have had otherwise. And we get this other beautiful, light, easy drinking Gamay Rosé as well. So give them a try.
Now we can convince everyone to do the side by side.
There you go. Mm.
Oh, that's nice.
Again, for me, the rosé is perfect fried food stuff. I busted it on the winemaker in the lab here at lunchtime, and they were literally eating fried chicken in this.
Right? It's very picking up a lot of strawberries that is really good for this time of year.
Yep.
As much as I don't usually recommend something like at this level for sugar level necessarily for desserts, but with the strawberry shortcake,
Yeah.
because I'm using the
It's
fresh
not like
berries, it'd be
really
like,
dry or
oh,
anything
so
either.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this guy, the red, is all cherry and
That's pie.
yeah. Back
It's,
to the-
it's always so amazing. That's one of the things I'm hoping that everyone kind of does a side by side, because I don't think people appreciate rosés enough and realizing like the difference it can make, and having it saying that this is coming from exactly the same, like the same tank, the same grapes, the same everything.
Same day.
And it's just a matter of how much the skins really do affect, right?
And that's one of those things where when you line up all the, I don't know, Cabernet Sauvignons in the liquor store, they're all dark red wines.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe there's a little difference here and there. But when you line up the rosés, it's crazy. They go from these super pale,
Yes.
hardly there at all things to the salmon color ones, and all stops in between, because every winemaker adds their own little, I left it for 12 hours and he left it for 10,
Right.
and we did Sangay and these person blended red and white together, you know, so it's all over the place to do it. So it's kind of cool. So you really have to try each one to get the difference.
See, I'd have this with dinner. This is barbecue for me.
Yeah.
Just simple barbecue. Nothing too complex, but ribs would great. And this is dessert.
All right. Oops, let me go to this one. I love it. We just got staffed up properly, which, as you well know, is not easy.
Yes,
And,
I do know. That's why I'm lucky I got away for a couple of days.
There you go. So what I'm getting at is, I don't have to do any of those dishes.
Yeah, good for you.
All
I
right.
need to do that more. I tend to end up doing the dishes.
I know. There she goes, right?
Sorry, the mom in me takes over and hate the mess.
All right, so this is Malbec. New for us, like I said, this was the very first vintage that we were able to get off with. Half an acre, not 44, not 40 yards that way. We have it, and it's kind of cool stuff. I'm really excited to see what the vineyard will give us in subsequent vintages. And the first few years of a vineyard, when you first plant those vines, you tend to get these big fruit bombs, and Malbec has a history or a reputation for being potentially being a fairly big, robust wine. And I think this will happen, but right now,
See, I told you, Malbec and Merlot were on the list, one of the lists in your email that he sent me. But he was looking at his
The
email.
one that you
thing.
CC'd me on is.
So I said, I think we were either emailing back and
this one
forth,
here, like this is.
but because I kept saying, I go, I know it's
Well, I
Merlot
used
and
to have a
Malbec.
Malbec Merlot at one point. I had a bottle of it before.
yes, we
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
That was an older, and that wasn't our Malbec.
That was
It
something.
Malbec from
Yeah,
a
see,
neighbor
it's
that we
because the
bought some.
Malbec and Merlot were not on here.
No, because we bought some Malbec from neighbors. So this guy is crazy,
Wow.
fruity, like it's so plummy.
It's got a lot of depth, even just the nose of it. And what year, what's the vintage on that?
22.
Wow. Oh, that'll do well. That's easy drinking.
Yeah.
The
It,
only
it smells like it's gonna be more intense than it is, but it's much more approachable.
much more approachable when you
Yeah.
get the tannic structure is not a big heavy thing.
No, it's
got-
nice.
It's like a larger version of Gamay, if you will, sometimes, but more intense. Here's the thing: you do this. This is our black label,
Yep.
which is our small lot series. So we make 200 cases of each, usually in that neighborhood, and so they each have different animals on them. This one causes a lot of controversy because nobody knows what the hell it is. What do you think the animal is?
It's not a beaver. It's not a fox. It's like a lynx or something. Am I
Any
close?
thoughts? If you do this, if you do this at the restaurant, get the customers to guess.
And
that.
then we'll just cut this part out. Oh, it's tiny little bone. That's fine.
It's not an otter, but.
It's not an otter. No. Okay. You know what it's supposed to be? when you look at all the other ones, you just.
I was trying to guess by
Yeah.
the tail.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a goofy one. So I don't know. Maybe in future we will have to do a slightly different label for Malbec so that you can actually see that if
I
we
think
keep it as that.
I'll
one.
cut off the video right before he announces what
Yeah,
the
exactly,
animal
there you
is, so
go.
that you can.
For instance, when you look at this one,
Mhm.
it's a bear.
Yep.
It's easy to recognize.
Yes.
They're all easy to recognize,
Yep.
except that one. Anyway. Mm.
Who makes the decisions, and when do you decide on certain animals for certain ones?
We all jump in together, and well, we said yes to the. Frankly, the previous one was a hiccup.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's how that goes.
I appreciate the honesty.
Sometimes you know, you're not always hitting it out of the park. Okay, so this is Dream. This is a real consistent. We've been making Dream since 2008. It's the
Yep.
first vintage of it. It's a Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, Merlot, Cab Franc dominant blend.
Mhm.
Depends on the year. Some years it's more Cab Franc or more Merlot than the others.
Mhm.
About 20% of this wine is made with a passamento fruit. So that's all harvested. Actually, we tend to harvest the passamento fruit about a day before we harvest the rest of it. And then it goes into the chamber, made into wine eventually, and kept separate as long as possible before the final blend goes in. So the goal with Dream and Temptress is that when we make these wines, we want them very consistent. We want to be able to put them out. It'd be nice if we could do it every single year. We have had an occasion had to skip because we want the quality to be there. But this is 2020. 2020 was the first vintage that Renee Van Eed, our current
Yes.
winemaker, is with us. He used to be with Taz
Yes.
and Redstone. And as a winemaker, if 2020 is your first vintage, that's what you want. Because it was a really,
Really good year.
Yeah.
and this part, oh, that's showing really well.
It's like you just stepped out and said,
Ta-da!
"Ta-da!"
Yeah,
right?
there you
Like
go.
it's-
And it's really great having him because it's a lot of licorice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, anise. Yeah,
That's, I
spicy.
was gonna say some type of spice for sure.
So classic Bordeaux blend.
Mhm. Oh, that's good.
My personal opinion is it needs, red meat.
Yep.
Needs something big like that.
Be interesting. So on the tasting night is when people can build their own flights, and then we do discounted bottles and things like that. But at anything that's remaining, we allow people to build flights on the Friday. And the Friday we do, it's our big Pincho night, where we have all like bites, like set up like in Spain with all the little Pincho big displays. But I can change or add to that. So it'll be good now that I've gone through this and made little notes and of the different pairing for things, because I can really add to the display to make menu suggestions for
Okay.
pairing for the wines,
Yep, yep,
so that we can still feature it for the rest of the weekend until it's gone, obviously.
of course.
Because then we're doing beef on Saturday night, but that's Argentinian night.
Argentinian night.
Yeah.
So I can't really make the excuse of sneaking in Niagara wine on it. But you do during the day though.
I mean, well, there is a Malbec that
There's a Melbeck there. Yeah.
Yes.
So
there is.
funny too, how
Well, we could do it side by side. We've never told people they can't buy the other wines on those nights. We just feature those wines and we do those cultural themes. But yeah, it'll be fun. Knowing Norm, he'll probably say he'll lean towards them.
Alright, so this is now Cabernet Sauvignon, 2020 vintage.
Okay.
About 12% of this was made with a passamento wine. And we're just about to launch it.
Oh, it is the small lot. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the one.
You said it was, sorry, because I was doodling and not listening. Any of this done with passamento in this?
Yeah, about 12%.
12%?
12%. So 100% Cab Sauv, but about 12% of this wine is done with the passamento. Much bigger
There's some
grape.
tannins. Woo!
This is the one that needs, to me, this needs a steak or a porterhouse or something, something with some fat on it. I think works well.
This is the one that he sent us that I liked, and I thought it was that one for the price.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my god, like for that price we need yeah.
So the new house wine. Yeah, no, this one is not that price. This is a blend of American and French oak, and give you a drying out there. So yeah, this is
I really like it. It's just I find always the battle with Cabernet Sauvignon at the bar is most people come in for that California one.
California,
and
Yes, I know.
it's
That's
obviously
This is
some
like,
really good.
this is like our style.
It
Like
is,
if we're gonna order a
exactly.
Cabernet Sauvignon, that's what we like, but
Yeah.
that's not what sells.
no, I agree, and it's well, everyone. If you're looking for California Cabernet, this isn't it.
This is
If
not
you're looking
for-
for a Bordelais
Yeah.
version
Yeah.
of it, this is it.
I guess
And
I'll do
this-
well at the tasting on Thursday, but
I'm always
like I couldn't put this on by the glass because everybody would go for like the Foxbrook instead because
Yeah.
it's
Cheap and dirty.
and yeah.
Yeah, right, and that's the thing where we there's a good reason that we end up with our wines showing well or showing a lot like the Bordelais wines. It's
Mhm.
because in Niagara, our climate is much more like
Right.
Yep.
continental Europe. It's not like California or Australia. We don't have that.
Shorter summer.
And you shouldn't be trying to pretend like
And
you
we're not,
are. It's
exactly,
alright,
there's
it
no
makes-
point
no.
anymore, right?
Yep.
You know, but you can't stuff a square peg in a round hole.
The Whiskey Barrel is not wine club anymore, Susan.
No,
I
you
guess
wanna
I'll
try
do
that? We can.
Well, no, I remember
We
trying
don't
last
know.
time, but that went over so well last time that I even had people come in later after the tasting, like months later, asking if we still had it because they
Yeah.
wanted to drink it after. So I just know it went over very well,
You
and
just wanna get a few maybe?
maybe like it will be gone by the end of the night. On
Cause you still,
Thursday.
cause we have some odd and end bottles.
I have
So-
two
Syrahs.
Syrahs
Did
left.
you say you had one
I have
there?
one Laradita there, so.
I'm
And
surprised.
Well, we picked up.
vintage?
I think it's the 2020 because it's Cab Franc and Cab Sauv.
Yes,
for
so
that
it's a
one,
2020.
Yeah.